Lenny's on a date. And, Nina's at yoga, I think.
I'm honored to be your plan C. How you doing?
I just had a weird moment. I got mad at Nina for being too needy, and then I got mad at Lenny for not being giving enough.
I understand that. I think I do the same thing, except with myself and myself.
Yeah, but they're my chosen family. I mean, why am I replicating the same patterns, the same patterns from my birth family, or my first family, or whatever I'm supposed to call them, that I've been working so hard to avoid?
Darn. I had this idea that, like, multiple partners just meant, like, multiple sources to resolve your hang-ups.
Well, so far, multiple partners means mostly that I keep a very well-organized calendar.
Can my chosen family include blood relatives? Because I've got a couple cousins who do not need to be chosen, but, like, the love of my grandma, that was like a pure beam.
Aw. Yeah, of course your grandma could be a part of your chosen family. I mean, the whole point is to choose people who make you feel safe and who see you for who you really are and are that beam of love for you. I mean, Al was that for me. I think he was the first non-blood related person I chose.
I'm really so honored to be coming to his memorial later. I realized that I don't actually know that much about Al.
Oh shit, really? Because I talk about him ad nauseum. Yeah, okay. Al was a proud first-generation Cuban-American from Washington Heights. He was a gay cis male, drag queen, graphic designer, teacher, actor, singer, dancer. He had a shaved head. He had a little 90s soul patch. And he had a voice like thunder. But it could also be quiet and sweet. He would pick up the phone whenever I would call. It didn't matter if it was 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. It did not matter. And it was usually about, you know, love or my career or like something random. I can just picture him right now with a cigarette in his hand and his café con leche in the other, picking up the phone like, mira, ¿cómo tú estás? And every time we'd get off the phone, he'd say, besos y abrazos. Man, just hearing Al's voice made me feel safe and seen and loved. Yeah, so 10 years ago, he was diagnosed with end-stage liver cancer and progressed faster than anyone expected. One weekend, he was in Asbury Park with our dear friend Creighton and some others when he started hemorrhaging again. And so they rushed him to the ER. And Al starts crying uncontrollably. And Creighton, just super concerned, asks, what's wrong? And Al composes himself, and then he says, Boo, I don't want to die in Jersey. Get me to Manhattan. And so they put him back in the ambulance and they rush him to New York City at Mount Sinai and then eventually to the ICU at Sloan Kettering. And meanwhile, I'm in Los Angeles getting paid to pretend to be a doctor in an ICU. And I get a call from Creighton. And he puts Al's doctor on the phone. And Al's doctor says, if this was my best friend, I'd be on a plane right now. We think he's waiting for you. And so I call my boss, I get clearance to leave, and I catch the red-eye flight that night. And I get into Sloan Kettering the next morning. The elevator doors open, and It's like I hadn't left the set of my job. It was so surreal. It was real. It was real, though. It was too real. I can see through the glass walls all the patients in their beds, you know, just surrounded by all the machines, all the monitors and lights and respirators. And some people have, 20 people around them. Some have one. Some have none. And then I get to Al's room, and I see him through the glass, and he's propped up in his bed, and he just looks so gaunt, like a skeleton. I can't even recognize him. The nurse is putting this yellow gown on me and these blue gloves. And that's when it all starts hitting me, and I just lose it. And Creighton looks me in the eye and he says, "You can do this." And so we enter the room together. And we're standing on either side of Al. And everything gets quiet. And Creighton says, "Al, Sada's here." And I can see Al is just struggling to open his eyes. And he can barely breathe. He can barely move. He's on heavy doses of morphine. And he whispers, "I love you." And I say, "I love you too." And they recline his bed to a flat position. And I take out this binder full of sheet music that I collected over the years, songs that he'd always wanted me to sing for him. And I don't know, I guess, his voice had been my light so many times, I figured maybe mine could be his. At least this once. I sing to him. We're looking into each other's eyes. I take out these stones that, these things that he'd gifted me throughout our friendship, and I start putting them on his forearm and into his palm. I don't know why. We're looking into each other's eyes. It's 1 p.m. in the afternoon. We're looking into each other's eyes. And I hear his heart monitor slowing. And then I hear a flatline. They gave him 3 months to live. He made it 6 weeks. Sorry, I'm sure you weren't exactly asking to hear about all that.
No, thank you for sharing. He sounds like an amazing person. I wish there was a way. I'm trying to find a way to still feel that pure beam from these people, even with them gone.
Yeah. I think it's possible. I think we're doing that right now.